Hello, everybody. So, today I want to talk about something that I've wanted to talk about for quite some time, but I didn't make the video for one reason or another, and I think that now is the perfect time to discuss it. So, this has been a very heavy week for the Charmed community and the 90210 community, and really just any community that Shannen Doherty was a part of. So, let me start by just saying that on July 13th, Shannen Doherty did pass away. When we learned that news, I wasn't quite sure what to do with myself. I think it's very difficult to mourn someone that you don't know, essentially. And it was very difficult to think about what I had to do with those emotions because I felt like, her family, her friends, who I'm sending so many prayers to, I didn't really know what to do with what I was feeling. And it ties into something that I've been wanting to talk about, but I just never made the video. And so now I think it is literally the perfect time to talk about it. I do want to start this off by saying that everything that I'm about to say is fully my opinion. It is fully my opinion, and it is fully something that I am just kind of coming up with off the cuff. And I don't have any notes, I don't have anything, so it's just us talking. Learning of Shannen's passing made me see the way that the Charmed community, specifically because that's the one that I'm a part of, came together. I also saw the way that the 90210 fans came together. I saw the way that people that were fan of like her cult classic movies like Heathers and Mallrats, things like that, the way those people came together, the way we all kind of folded in together to show such to try to give some sort of a tribute to this beautiful soul who provided us with entertainment, and she provided us with what was going on with her as a person. And one of the hardest things for me, and then just with everyone else, was I saw so many people sharing with me that they didn't know what to do with how they were feeling either, that they weren't sure how to grieve someone that they never met. And it really made me reflect on a lot of things. It made me reflect on my own life. It made me reflect on what I want out of life. But it also made me reflect on why we love these shows so much. And specifically for me, because I'm a part of the Charmed community, it made me think about why we love Charmed so much. I think a common thing that we have is the need to escape to a certain extent. For some people, they were going through bad periods in life and they needed that escape. Some people just love to read and to watch sci-fi shows and things like that, and that was their escape. And I think that's the beauty of Charmed, is that it gave us a place to go. We just weren't all necessarily aware that we were escaping to the same place together. One of the things that I've seen so much over the past week was people sharing stories of what Charmed meant to them, was people sharing stories of how Charmed touched them. And I've seen people relate it to their own lives, to them and their siblings, to them and their friend groups. I've seen people just relate themselves to certain characters and how they found their own strength through those characters finding strength. And it's so beautiful that we all have those memories. We all have those memories of waking up in the morning and watching TNT before school. And now I'm old, so I remember it coming on after school as well. That's when I remember that. Like, I remember I would get home and turn it on, and I'd be watching Charmed, but that was years ago. Y'all gotta remember, I'm 33. I think TNT started airing Charmed in like '02 or something like that. But as a little backstory of how I even got into Charmed, I started watching it with my mom. So my mama had it on and she was like barely even paying attention to it. And the first ever episode I saw was Charmed again. And I remember thinking like, this is interesting. And then I see Piper trying to contact Prue, but Grams comes instead. And I remember thinking that Grams was their sister, and I was like, oh my goodness. But the fact that I have those memories, the fact that I can remember that specific thing about the show, I think is the beauty of it. That I have that memory of when I first started watching it, how it was for me. And it's something that I keep near and dear to me, because from that moment on I was hooked. And I came in the Paige era, and I think that that's maybe why I have a little bit softer vision towards it. But as I've started to get more into the Charmed community, people have shared things with me. People have shared that they watched it with their friends. People have shared that they watched it with their family. But the common theme that we typically have is that we didn't know people outside of ourselves watched it. We weren't able to go to school and have discussions about it the way people were with Star Trek, or whatever other show was popular at the time. And I use Star Trek, I don't know why. Yes, I do. I feel like a lot of people watch Star Trek. I feel like I just made that up. No, people watch Star Trek, but were people my age watching? Child, it don't matter. My point here is that we didn't have those connections and those ties to each other, not necessarily because we were all in such different pockets. And when I get into what I think Charmed means for us, I think that a lot of it is the family aspect. It's not just the magic. Yes, the magic plays a big part in it probably, but it's the romance, it's the family, it's all those different elements. It's the ability for you to watch the show and find a character that you relate to in some shape, form, or fashion. A lot of people can relate to Piper's arc, where she's very timid and mild, and then by the end of the show she's very opinionated and she's very outspoken, and nobody can really stop her, and she's like a hurricane. You can vibe with Phoebe, who's trying to find her way through life, and then eventually is this a businesswoman who has a job, and she's I'm gonna say world known, but that really don't make sense because she's a columnist in San Francisco. But either way, child, you can mesh with Paige, who comes in and doesn't feel like she has a place there, but by the end of the series she's as much a part of the family as everyone else, and she's gone through these trials and tribulations. And you can mesh with Prue, who is the oldest sibling, who had to put her own needs aside so that she could take care of her family. And then she has to figure out what that means for her and as an adult, and what that means for their dynamics. You can always find that little part of yourself. You can always find something that reminds you of someone that you know, something that reminds you of a time in your life. And I think that that's one of the reasons that we're drawn so much to that show. I know that I personally love generational stories. I love things about family. That's why I love soap opera so much, because I love things that talk about passing the torch down. I love stories about how the generations move and how history repeats itself. I love those things. And Charmed fits that mold perfectly. They are the current generation of this very powerful family, and they are actually the culmination of a prophecy that was given by their ancestor. So it's that connects me to the story on a basic level. It's just my love for those kinds of stories. And then once you get into it, the way that they interact and the way that their history has affected the people that they are. That's the other part of it that I love so much, is just that acknowledgement that yes, you may grow up, yes, you may eventually find love, but you're still the same person because of the things that you experienced. And for so many people, I always see comments about how they relate to one character or another, and I think that that's the beauty in a show like this, is that you can watch it and you can become this character that you love. I will say that Charmed, talking about this show online, has been something that I did not know would ever impact me the way it has. I have grown as a content creator, which I was never thought would happen. I feel comfortable putting myself out here now and talking. And I have met people that have become like family to me. I've met people who may not be in my life anymore, but they'll always hold a special place in my heart. And those journeys and that road of accepting that things come to an end is something that I feel like partly comes from my love of the show, and having to accept that the past can hurt, but we can't roll around in it, because if we do, then it's just gonna repeat itself. And it makes you sit back, look at yourself, which I've had to do. And through Charmed, I feel like I found a community, and I feel like I found a voice, which is the biggest thing for me. I'm saying me a lot because I don't want to put words in other people's mouths, but I think that if I'm feeling that, I think that a lot of other people have. I think that other people found their tribe. They found people that can relate to them. They found people who they can talk to, because there's something to be said about being able to have a discussion with someone and they know what you're talking about. That's a feeling like no other, because trying to explain something to someone and they don't know what you're talking about and they don't really care to know it gets tiring, but being able to sit down and you make a random joke about something that happened in an episode that people may not even know exists, and someone gets it, even if it's not every single person and some people forgot, someone's gonna get what you said, and it makes you feel seen. And I think that is, the internet is its own thing. The internet is its own like little beast and issue, but I think that the beauty of the internet has been its ability to bring us all together, for us to be seen, for us to be heard. And I think that Charmed, at its core, is a show about coming together, not just from the power of three angle, but we watch the sisters as their relationships improve. When we start out, they're splintered, essentially. They are three women who are living three completely different lives. And as we watch the show, we watch them come together, not just magically, but as a family. And they love each other. They see each other. They hear each other. Even in moments where they maybe take each other a little bit for granted, they still are able to acknowledge how much they care about each other. And I think that that's what draws us into the show, is that ability to see it, is the ability to see that connection and feel like if they can connect to each other, then I can connect with someone. And it's just beautiful to see. It's beautiful to watch this family blossom. It's beautiful to watch them grow from just being the three of them and having nobody else to having children and grandchildren and whoever else children. They have husbands and they have friends, and we watch them as they come together. We watch their triumphs and we watch their losses, and we're there through that journey. We don't just see the good, we get a chance to hurt with them through the bad. And I really think that Shannen's passing is the same way, because we were able to watch her go through her journey. She shared that part of herself with us that she did not have to. And we saw her strength. We saw her vulnerable moments. She shared with us when she was scared. She shared with us how she was continuing to fight. And I think that's what makes it such another reason why it makes it such a hard blow is, no, we didn't know her personally, but she was in our homes for over 20 years, whether really over 30. I've just been watching Charmed over 20 years, so people that watched her in other projects, they've been watching her for over 30 years. And when someone has been a part of your life in some capacity for that long, you do form an attachment to them. And it's okay to acknowledge that attachment. It's okay to acknowledge how much that hurts. It's okay to acknowledge that now you're going to have to thrive on this memory of them because they're no longer here. And I think that one of the things about her life that she would always want us to keep in mind is the fact that she left a legacy. She left something behind for us. She left something for us to remember her by. And we'll always be able to talk about her strength. We'll always be able to talk about how she fought until she couldn't fight anymore. And that's what I'm going to remember. I'm going to remember this strong, beautiful woman who gave life everything that she had. And I'm going to do my best. Even though I know she does not know me, I am going to do my absolute best to live up to that and to be just as brave as she was. So, I am going to include a clip of me talking to them. I met Shannen, Holly, and Rose in 2023. Last year. I don't know why I said 2023. Last year. I met them last year in San Antonio. And so I had an opportunity, thankfully, to stand in front of them and speak. And Drew was there too. I'm going to include that at the end of this, and I hope that you all have an amazing day. I know that this video wasn't probably the most structured. I know it probably was all over the place a little bit, but I really wanted to try to talk from the heart as much as I could, and I may do more of a formal video in the future, but for right now, I just wanted to kind of get my thoughts out there and just let you know what this show means to me, and let you know why I think that this legacy that we have through this show goes so strong even to this day. So I'm going to go ahead and play the clip for you. I hope that you have a great day. I hope that you have a great morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. And I will see you later. Bye.
Has to answer that. Okay, well, she's gone, so this is my chance. You remember my name.
I remember names.
There
Hi,
we go.
sweetheart.
Galen Roberts, by the way.
Galen Roberts.
My thing is not so much a question, but a statement. My entire life, I felt alone by myself. I don't know if y'all know this, but a lot of Black people watch Charmed, and I didn't find that out until I started making TikTok content and like all kinds of things. And y'all essentially saved my life, and I want you to know that. And I just want to know, did you ever think that 25 years later, there would be a room full of people here screaming y'all's names, ready to see you, ready to cry for you, ready to look at you and just be close to you?
You're going to make me cry.
I mean, I think you guys exceeded our expectations, like, to be honest. So thank you for that. I think that I remember Holly and I having a moment when we read the script and we talked about doing the show that based off of a movie that we really loved, Practical Magic, we felt like it was going to be successful, and we felt like the sister roles were written really well. But guess what? You all literally made the show a true family, and we feel your love, we feel your support, and you're our family, so thank you.
And Caitlin, I'm so happy that our charmed family could be there and be your family too, beyond color, beyond borders, beyond anything. And one of the great things that I've learned on this charm journey is that it crosses all demographics, all ages, all races. And there's something about, I think, the family and people knowing that they have magic inside of them, even if the rest of the world doesn't treat them so magically. And you have to believe that you do. And I'm happy you're a race with it.
I'm still crying.
Okay.
That's doing great.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you. You can go ahead.
Oh, no.
Did you think you would be here this weekend?
No, this is truly one of the great gifts that continues to keep on giving. Being able to travel the world and meet people and connect and bond with each and every one of you. It's truly one of the great gifts that have ever been given to me in my life. And I'm so grateful that this show has impacted as many people as it has. And I'm kind of in awe that 25 years later, it's still having that same impact. So we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. It's clearly like you all are our family, and yeah. Thank you.
Are you crying?
Well, happy anniversary, my darling.
I'm not allowed to have feelings.